Right on the border here of Virginia and North Carolina. Heavy rain continuing in Kentucky, the eastern parts especially. And look at these thunderstorms developing, certainly putting out some very heavy rain to aggravate the flooding problems already existing here. Further to the north, here's our rain and some snow into Pennsylvania, eventually pushing some snow maybe into New York City. We'll talk about that coming up.
Winter in New England. Virginal, untouched, undisturbed. The way it was meant to be.
Let's rip it.
If you want to take on Sugarloaf, Attitash, Mount Snow, and any of these other great mountains with the American Skiing Company, take out your Visa card. Because none of the ticket windows at these 6 mountains take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
WeatherScope. It's all the weather you want. Every 30 minutes on the hour and half hour on the Weather Channel. Know what to expect. Watch our 5-day planner 20 minutes after every hour on the Weather Channel. No place on earth has better weather.
Next on WeatherScope, as cleanup of massive tornado damage moves into high gear, the potential arises again for more severe weather in the south. And the rain connected with the system threatens increased flooding in the Ohio Valley and possibly a wintry mix for the Northeast. Those stories plus in-depth forecast and analysis in this edition of WeatherScope.
Heavy rain occurring right now in Philadelphia and maybe some snow in the forecast for New York City. Welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Janine D'Adamo. But first, before we get to that, we're going to talk about a storm system that's proved deadly over the weekend. It's once again threatening the south. For the latest on the severe weather outlook, we'll go to Bob Stokes now in the forecast center. Bob?
Okay, thanks a lot, Janine. We do have some severe weather to talk about, some flooding as well as some rising streams and rivers. In the meantime, the latest local storm report out of Calhoun, Georgia, between Chattanooga and Atlanta. This occurred within the past hour and a half, where trees were down and they fell onto some power lines, which caused a small fire. In the meantime, it appears like the western part of Atlanta is trying to clear out, but there is still a tornado watch in effect for portions of northern Georgia. Let's go to that map right now, and you can see from about Lake Lanier, that's that dot you see there, stretching down to Columbus, Georgia, a tornado watch in effect for about the next 30 minutes, and a watch means that conditions are favorable for the possible development of tornadic activity. We're going to be watching that closely for you. And now earlier, as far as some history goes, a funnel cloud was sighted in the wee morning hours near Muscle Shoals in northern Alabama. But you can see right now where the funnel system is. We have the warm air in advance of it here, temperatures in the 70s with very high dew points, and we've got the cooler air moving in behind. And so as that slightly cooler air anyway, the cooler air begins to move in, then we're going to see a gradual clearing going into this afternoon where the sunshine will in fact come through in Atlanta, for example, and tonight and tomorrow is going to be a perfectly nice day. But in the meantime, ahead of this low pressure area, we're going to see some possible severe weather, thunderstorm activity into the western part of North Carolina and South Carolina. So watch out Greenville, Spartanburg, and watch out Charlotte as time goes on today. In the meantime, we still have the possibility ahead of this front of some severe weather. That's why the tornado watch is still in effect for portions of northern Georgia. In the meantime, much of the thunderstorm activity over the Tennessee Valley has moved into the mountains of western North Carolina. Asheville getting wet right now. But earlier this morning, a few hours ago, there had been a tornado warning in effect for Monroe and Blount counties in eastern Tennessee, right there in the Smoky Mountains. Of course, that has long since been canceled, but that gives you an idea of the volatility that has existed this morning. Here's the line of thunderstorms and showers occurring now across northern Georgia, moving into the eastern part of the greater Atlanta area, but you still need to watch out along I-75, for example, and I-85, and again, just to the east of Lake Lanier, which is right here, and into the northeastern mountains of Georgia. But no tornadic activity, thankfully, in the northern part of Georgia. Numerous flash flood warnings in effect for eastern Kentucky and eastern Tennessee, where several counties are under a flash flood warning and numerous roads underwater, many highways. And if you happen to get stranded in your vehicle in a roadway where the water is rising, abandon that vehicle immediately. In that's how many of the deaths occur in a flash flood warning situation in vehicles. In the meantime, today's unstable weather conditions follows a pattern that has brought death and destruction across the South this weekend. The worst in a series of disasters was in Arkansas. Cleanup of the massive damage from Saturday's tornado was just getting underway. At least 24 people were killed. Heaviest damage was in the college town of Arkadelphia, about 70 miles southwest of Little Rock. President Clinton declared a wide area of Arkansas a disaster area. He plans to view the damage in his home state tomorrow. And by the way, the Cumberland River will continue to rise. That flows through Nashville, by the way, and near Clarksville, water levels have exceeded flood stage. Clarksville is a town of about 70,000, about an hour to the northwest of Nashville, so beware of that, exceeding flood stage on the Cumberland River. In the meantime, speaking of Arkansas, let's take a look at not only Arkansas, but Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Texas, all having that tornadic outbreak over the weekend, numerous tornadoes, and you can see Arkadelphia being about right here where that death and destruction did take place, which you saw the video, and of course we had a death, as you may have heard, in the northeastern part of Mississippi, and the rest are hail and wind damage. Let's take a look at the severe weather outlook through midnight tonight right here.